I think I started this thought and didn't finish it, but it's really nice playing an RPG with no carry limit. I've just been playing so many games where you pick up stuff around the environment and then you can't carry anymore, and it's like, time to open the inventory and choose which things I want to get rid of again. This is exciting every time. Spoilers, it's exciting 0 of the time. Found that amusing. Never really thought about doing that to one of them before. Ow. It actually stops them in their tracks. It's kind of great. That's fantastic. It was a little pain in the ass. But yeah, I think one of the most, I don't know, fun killing mechanics to have in a game is often the carry limit. This is not an actual secret, right? You're messing with me. I think carry limits are kind of garbage. I understand whether they're there for some weird element of realism, but the realism doesn't make sense because the moment you pick up like 2 objects in a fantasy game, you're already over encumbered for how much that person could realistically carry. Like, do you know how heavy armor is? Like in this game, I'm wielding a sword as big as my body, and frankly, armor is so heavy that it over encumbers you to the point of being useless. So you don't get to carry things. That's the entire reason squires existed, was so a second person could come in and carry stuff for you. I've got a straight shot, so I think I'm gonna go visit that, I'm gonna go visit the bonfire to get my weapon repaired and my flasks restored, since I have a shortcut now. That lets me skip most of the problems around here. But yeah, like, these are all medieval fantasy type games, which have the additional element of magic to make them even less realistic. Yet a lot of games insist on having a limit on how much you can carry around for some reason. When, yeah, in real life you could carry like your armor, your weapon, and then like a small pack with like some rations maybe, and like you're practically screwed at that point, and that's it. So any medieval fantasy game that has loot in it is inherently super unrealistic, and that you're just casually grabbing these things and going off and fighting more monsters. So the carry limit is always an arbitrary decision, and it's just annoying. Funnily enough, this game is filled with unique items. You find 1 copy of every item, and there's no randomly generated weapons or anything. The only randomly generated stuff was actually in the Bloodborne Chalice dungeons, where there was some different variants of each weapon there. But even those were predetermined from a list. And like we inherit, so yeah, we have no reason to wake these guys up. If I remember correctly, they're just there. Just try to avoid them if I can. Hey, buddy. Oh, no! That hurts. Oh man, there's a bunch of them is what there is. Okay, I walked into that one. Let's just lure you guys over here. A controllable environment, and maybe I'll throw a few firebombs because it's funny to me. There's a lot of enemies in one spot right now. I just find that from a gameplay perspective, it kind of grinds the game to a halt when it's like, hang on, I hit my cap again. I gotta stop playing now because I gotta look at the spreadsheet and compare stats of all these items in my inventory to figure out which ones I wanna hold on to and which ones I want to drop on the ground to pick up this other thing that's useful, I guess. And then like, then you start rationing like, which one's worth more if at the store probably, if I sell it? And I think that's one of the least interesting things to do in a game. And more games insist on it. The funny thing is that oh crap. It's often the games that are designed around having way too much loot in the first place that also most limit you on your ability to carry loot. And the weird thing about this game is that it has a predetermined list of items with no random generation, really. And yet it's the game that doesn't restrict you on loot, which is extra interesting. Because they made that mistake once in Demon Souls and then realized this was dumb and then never did it again. Hey guys. You gonna wander over here? Maybe separate yourself from all those other guys? That'd be nice. Yep. Yeah, that's oh! Damn you, incredibly long animations. Every time that happens, I miss my dex weapons just a little more. Buddy? No, you go first. There it is. Wow. Hup. Getting really good at missing, aren't I? Hup. Oh, that was way too early. But I had time to roll twice because his attack's so slow. Yeah, delayed attacks can mess with you because the delay can lead to you. It's gonna say, yep, too fat. It's always a fat comment when you're too when you just can't fit through some crack, even though it's just a weird hitbox thing, really. Ah, crap. I'm trying to thread the needle on being just far enough away to not get hurt by the spikes and just close enough to not get just close enough to not miss like I keep doing, but still messing it up. Hey, friend. Nope. You come back over here. Oh, there's another golem that's alive already. All right. Yep. Ooh, I got him. Nice. Oh, I might have woken up the other one. I totally did. Crap. I spaced that one out incorrectly. Hey, guys. You seem nice? Maybe? No? Eh. You're kind of tedious. I'm moving on with my life. They'll forget I exist in a few minutes anyway. There's a lockstone to use upstairs if I want to. And here's my way back up. See you guys later. Do your golem-y thing down here. I just realized that earlier. I was like, I'm not sure if this is the Maldron area or the golem area. Turns out it was both. I have a bad mental map of this particular zone. Let's go ahead and send it back down. So if I have to backtrack through this, the elevator's there for me. Hey guys. Don't need to fight any of you. We'll get into that in a moment. I'm trying to think, which DLC do I have the best map up in my head? It's probably the first one. I find Sunken King to have a very memorable layout all around. But in general, this was a topic that came up a bit when I was playing Salt and Sanctuary, was that, like, this game, the Souls games, even when they're more convoluted maps, like, I just look here, right? Like, look over there, look at that bridge, or look over here, at this part, with the porcupines on the ridges, or look down there with the golems I was just at. Like, every individual room of a Dark Souls game is fascinating to me in that it sticks in your brain. And when that was the unfortunate thing that could not be replicated by, or at least was not replicated by Salt and Sanctuary, which very well may be a limitation of its 2D constraints. Is that you go to locations in that game and it's like, there sure are brown walls here, and like, sure, you could probably identify what zone you're in, but that's not enough, in my opinion. In this game, I don't need to, it's not just identifying what zone I am. This whole place is the frozen Ilium Lois. That's a huge area. But I can tell you what individual part of the Ilium Lois I'm in based on just looking at it at the moment, like the encounter that's there, or mostly the topography, really. It's just the basic design of the environment is so memorable. There we go. That I can just tell you where I am at a glance. And that's really nice. That's one of the things that I most enjoy about playing these games. That's probably why I love the series so much. Is that it's... Can I get you to roll off? Because that'd be fantastic. That would just make me happy. You see how he refused to roll? I wonder if you can get him... I wonder if that was just a coincidence, or if you can actually not get him to roll off the edge that easily. Like if that's in his AI, or if it was just the fact that he just decided to melee that time. But I absolutely love the fact that in Souls games, every single individual room of the game feels so carefully designed and unique and separate from the rest of the game in a specific way. Even when it does have little gimmicks like this. What do I do again? Oh wait, do I attack it? I think I just attack it, actually. There we go. This is silly, but it's amusing to me. At least it works. At least, at the very least, that it just works the way it should. Because they could have made the mistake of making it work like that fire barrel in The Lost Bastille, where some big pyromancer dude with a scythe is supposed to knock down the fire barrel, and it's supposed to blow a hole in the wall, which gives you access to a bonfire and a merchant, but it rolls downstairs. A gorgeous view. Oh yeah. Gorgeous view of something you don't want to pay too close attention to, because it's one of those Dark Souls backgrounds where it's a 2D environment that goes off into it's a 3D environment that goes off into a 2D environment, I think. But specifically, it's super low detail usually, which makes sense because you have to load it in the background. It's not important. But I just love that every individual room is so memorable and designed and specific in a way that they aren't elsewhere. Alright, so we have now freed one of the knights. Bye. And now we need to go try to free the other ones. And you find them pretty naturally just by exploring the island. I don't think I remember having any trouble the first time finding all of them. And thankfully, a nice little touch is that the number of chairs in that room indicates how many knights there are to save, which actually acts as kind of a progress bar of you trying to figure out how complete of a playthrough you currently have if you, say, take a break for a few days and come back and aren't sure how much you have left to do before continuing onward. Not that it's mandatory. A lot of people are well aware of the fact that you can beat the game, you can beat the DLC with, like, one night or a couple nights or something. In fact, some people insist on saving specific numbers of them to make the fight harder and stuff like that, because what you do in the world has a massive effect on the difficulty of that fight. Hey guys, yeah, you're all back now. You're all back. To space with you! Ah! Gotta be careful, having to fight my way through all this again. That would have been really nice if half those attacks made contact. Oh! They're behind me! Oh, he didn't fall down. We gotta come down here. Shield man, hoop! Thank God for the sound that makes. But yeah, like, even in my most beloved RPGs, even games like Dragon Age and The Witcher, they never have this kind of level design. Granted, there are different kinds of RPGs where it's all about stats and party management or using specific abilities against certain enemies and pre-planning and stuff like that. So it's less how this game works, where it's more about the moment-to-moment combat. Well, The Witcher is closer. Both of them just kind of have often bland level design, and I want to stress level design because they have great art direction. Locations in Dragon Age and Witcher, especially Witcher, look absolutely fantastic. But on your average day of The Witcher, you're fighting through some tomb that's a series of hallways, or sometimes it's the same tomb I think even that you've been through before, or you're fighting through like a field or a forest that's just an open area where they spawn enemies, like in a Bethesda game. Hello, can I hit you, please? Yeah, I can. And Dragon Age is extra guilty, almost infamously so, of just flat-out recycling environments. And when you're recycling environments, it's kind of a bummer, because it's just the same locations over and over again. That door's closed, isn't it? Yeah. So I would love to open it and just go through here, but I think that... Oh, they don't come after me? Interesting. I didn't know I could just wander on through. So we gotta be careful here. We've been through here before, which gives you a false sense of security. But we've established that there's a maiden up here, and so she's gonna try to... Maybe not? Oh, I thought she was gonna hop out that window and try to backstab me. Anyway, dealt with. There might be a second one. Don't really remember. But yeah, a lot of RPGs are more about creating a big open area and then putting a lot of work into designing how combat works, or how monsters work, or how, like, figuring out your distribution of elemental resistances you want to put everywhere and stuff like that, more so than a level design. But level design is great, because level design makes the moment-to-moment interesting. It makes, like, I can watch, are any of you guys Mimics? I can watch my Let's Play of any of the Souls games and be happy about the fact that, like, every individual location, like, I can watch any individual episode where I'm covering a new location, which is every episode. That's a unique part of the game. Whereas, when I get to parts of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm like 90 episodes in, and I'm closing a rift again, and there's demons coming out of the rift in waves, and it's like, this is the same rift I've fought over and over again, in the same open field I've fought in over and over again, and this is just the same, it's just the same thing again. Like, you could transplant this encounter to a different, oh, there is another one. You could transplant that encounter into a different location, and I wouldn't notice. Whereas in Souls games, the location is the encounter, and that's a very different design philosophy that I very much love. And I wish more games were more uniquely about level design. That's one thing that a lot of the clones of Souls games tend to get right. I think a lot of us have played Lords of the Fallen at this point, I think, or have seen it and know how much of it it's kind of like watching a garbage fire. Like, it's not a good game. But one thing they did get it right is that the entire game is a series of unique environments, which is very much appreciated. That probably led to the game being shorter than they wanted it to be, because it is unusually short for an RPG. But I appreciate that at least the game is a series of unique environments, so that exploring it is relatively satisfying. It's just the game had other issues, really. That'll be an interesting thing when I inevitably get around to finally playing Dark Mouse, I want to say it's called. The top-down Souls-like. Sort of almost like our top-down equivalent to what Salt and Sanctuary did, which will, I'm sure, capture different elements of the game. It'll be interesting to see if that game has memorable locations throughout it, because that game has a super minimalist art style, which scares me a little bit, because that's even further in the direction that Salt and Sanctuary was going in. But we'll see. Hup. Buddy? No, no, no. I'm starting to feel like Northern Lion. Or at least I'm starting to feel like how I imagine Northern Lion is probably like, because I don't actually watch that channel. But he has a channel where he plays Binding of Isaac over and over and over again for hundreds of episodes. And he's somewhat famous for talking less and less about the game over time. And I think that's the inevitable thing that happens when I'm in my 4th playthrough of Dark Souls. That corpse just went to space. Did you see that? That happened, right? He like shot up in the sky and now they're gone? Are they behind here? I don't even see it. At least I'm talking about the game technically. I'm talking about the I'm just talking about design philosophy as a non-game designer, so dubious input at best. Whoa, did I hit an attack? I didn't even mean to hit an attack, but I meant to hit roll. I've clearly got some wires crossed there. There we go. Buddy, you're all alone up there. What are you gonna do? Oop, there's an item over here. Roll! Oh, timing was off. I got an ice rapier from random drops. Of course, when I don't want one is when I start getting them all the time. Back when I actually wanted them, I actually had to farm these guys because not even one was dropping, and it was really frustrating. Okay. So the bonfire is right down there, which is kind of torture because it'd be real good to have a bonfire before going into this next area, you know? But anyway, this is an area you can only access by lighting the torch, if I remember correctly. But there was 2 reasons you couldn't do this before. One, of course, the wall was frozen over anyway, but also you couldn't light a torch outside during the blizzard, because if you went to the blizzard, it would just blow out your torch instantly. I have 6 hours of torch? Damn. That's never gonna run out. Come to think of it, this reminds me of a specific location in Bloodborne. Yeah. A certain blood-starved beast location in the expansion. Where it's like, oh look, there's a weird side area. It's totally optional as far as you can tell. And this, because it recycles an earlier boss in a new context, that makes it relatively difficult. Weird use of a secret door that it's just a little surprising how obvious it is, because they never really are. Alright. Hello. You're dead now. Congratulations. They're all gonna be just swarming me now, which is a little concerning. They coming up here? Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work either. Alright, a few attempts were made. They were unsuccessful. Let's just chase them. Where you guys going, huh? Whee! Sounds fun. I should not be in this hallway. I should not be in this hallway. It immediately was clear to me how big of a mistake this was when I walked in this hallway. I'm like, no, 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 no. They're backstab enemies. They're just going to be coming up behind me now. Oh, crap. That was a bad time to touch the joystick. Oh, that's the dead one. Just awkwardly, perfectly in their pose. There we go. Hello, friend. Another one down. Is that one alive? Yeah, he is. She is. Oh, deflected by a wall. Ow. You got me. Congratulations. Oh, that was a nasty time to come peeking around the corner. They're not too tough. They're only real. Oh, roll is to ambush you. Flexile sentry. Hey. Uh-oh. Yeah, the only real job of these guys is to ambush you, so once they're in actual combat, they're kind of harmless, but you need to take them out. The obvious trap here is that they're all supposed to ambush you as you... Oh! I forgot there's two. But yeah, they're supposed to ambush you from behind while you deal with that boss fight, because they'll trigger. But that's taken care of now. I did not at all remember there was two of these guys. Wow. I've always had a little trouble with these guys. Their attacks can go all over the place, and sometimes they'll just change their minds about which side of them is the aggressor, which of course is the whole point of the fight, but it still messes with me a lot. Oh, you hit me? I really thought I was doing that correctly. Hut. More attacks or no? Half the struggle sometimes is trying to figure out if their combo's still going or not. Huh. Get out, get out, get out. Oop. And their reach is insane. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Uh-oh. No, no, no. There we go. Sorry. I convinced myself I could get one more hit in, and that was not the case. That was not the case at all. Is there a secret back here? Just peeking around a little bit. Good thing I went back to that bonfire earlier for the repair midway through. Alright, so we have the bone fist, by the way. In fact, I think I have two of those now. It's supposed to be like the ultimate melee weapon, I believe. There's a bone fist. I think the other one was probably in my stash somewhere. It has B... Yeah, A strength, B dex. I'd probably get the full benefit out of it if I used it now. Maybe that'll be a playthrough at some point as a melee fist playthrough. Don't think I have the patience right now. Thankfully, this is the last guy I have to fight. Take this one guy down, and then we're then clear to go at getting to the boss fight. I mean, to the bonfire. Ah! Wow, unsuccessful roll. Alright, these are all around a bad idea that is going to kill me. So let's avoid that anymore. There we go. Lots of running away so far. Where you at, buddy? Yeah. I'm kind of curious if you can reach me up here or not. I sure as hell can't hit him at this angle. Yeah, nothing besides my sword really does proper damage. This is probably a terrible idea. I'm basically volunteering to fight him on irregular terrain, which is where he's gonna win. He's gonna be messing with my ability to fight back properly. There you go. Careful, he's going in sword mode, which is the scarier of the two modes, I think. Hup. He'll do a flurry of blows. Oh, this is actually a good place to fight him properly. I think this messes with the swing arc of his, well, this is the wrong way to, this is the wrong way to take that, is to then turn around and go back up here. Hey, buddy. Chase me a little bit. I want to do that again. Oh, there's a hitbox there where he can't keep going. But yeah, I think there's a clear advantage to fighting him when he's up ramp from you. Oh yeah, look at that. Enjoy that hitbox. That second roll was on accident, by the way. I wasn't trying to just randomly spam and waste all of my stamina. There we go. They're cleared out. It's fun to just follow up on little endpoints like that, even if there's not really anything in there I actually want. Or was there a key? One of the things that inevitably happens when you're playing these games is that there's a series of locations you just get in the habit of exploring by default. And you kind of forget about, like, hey, was there an actual item there I wanted to get by exploring there? Or was I just exploring there because I just like to go everywhere? I don't even remember. But, we've rested, we've got one night, we have more to explore going forward. This would be a good time to travel back to Majula for the sake of recovery. And, well, not recovery, for spending our souls. What's that? 154,000 souls? Better increase our endurance by a particle. The souls really do just kind of lose all meaning midway through New Game Plus, don't they? Where it's just like, it's such a huge amount to do such a tiny thing to your character. You're just kind of set in stone.